Hey, Nathan.
Hey, Scotty, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing good.
That's good. So I am on to listen in. I realized that the Saturday is super busy for me. I didn't think when I was like, "Yay, office hours at 11," that it would be this hectic. But I'm definitely here to listen in, and then I'll go back and once it like calms down a little bit, go back and use the tools to help me out with the capstone.
Okay. Well, we may end early. It doesn't look like there's going to be a whole lot going on today, so hopefully that's not a. Hey, Nicole,
Hey, good morning.
you got your hand up already?
Yeah, I want to be first. I know what good morning, Scotty. I know what I
Good
got
morning.
a little bit difficult, so I'm like, let me get it out the way so everybody can get their stuff.
I think it's just us, unless more people are going to show up in the next couple of
I
minutes.
just got out of a one-on-one with Doug, so he's on his way over right now.
Oh,
So yeah, I'm not sure what he might need, but Scotty, what are you planning on working on today?
So I was just telling Nate that I'm going to sit in and listen. My Saturday is super duper hectic. I'm out and about, so I'm listening, and then I'm gonna use the resource that y'all told me about from the other day in class, go through it, and then work like that. And then if I got questions, I'm gonna try to reach out to y'all to see if y'all could possibly help and like to work it out. But I'm listening in, so you can ask all the questions you need right now.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. All right.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
I was up since like 9 o'clock. Like I'm getting everything I need on my ducks in a row because I need all my answers, my questions answered. So let's see. All right. So Nathan, I want to hook my Syracuse impact domain to my capstone.
okay. So let's take, let's grab the URL, the domain, syracuseimpact.com. Grab that and copy it to your clipboard. We need to go to the front end in Heroku because that's where your front end is for the capstone, right?
Yep. Let's see, personal capstone front. And then
Settings,
scroll
down, keep going.
Sorry.
Domains. Click on the add domain.
Add domain.
Punch that in.
Command V. That's spelled right? Syracuse. I went over like 3 million times, but never.
Yeah, that looks right. And then yeah, click on that. What are the options? Enter a domain name that corresponds. Yeah, okay, just click next.
Okay, and then next.
Please verify your account. Yeah, so even if you're going to not use the paid dyno, it wants you to put in a credit card.
That's fine. I can do that quickly.
Okay.
Where would I do that at?
So I think you want to X out of this, and then up at the top right, there's your profile. Yep. And then account settings, billing.
Oh, did I press billing? Oh, I'm sorry. There it is.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'll stop sharing for that, and then I'll come right back.
Okay. Morning, Doug.
Morning.
Okay, good morning. I'm sorry, don't kill me. Nate, would you be able to help me with something that's not like back end related, that's like driving me nuts?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So me and Ariel was trying to figure out, I have this banner. I'm sorry, I'm talking to you on my phone, but I just ran back in the house, so I'm about to log in that way. We are trying to get this banner to size, and it's not working for me, and it's driving me absolutely completely nuts. Give me 1 second. I'm about to jump and I'm logging off my phone. I'll be right back.
Okay.
One second. It's just like loading.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm back. So share my screen. And this is the code.
Okay,
And this is how it's looking. I
that's
cannot
what you're
get
trying
it.
to resize.
Yes, I'm trying to the top one. I'm trying to get it to size down so it's a little bit slimmer than that, and then that is spread across the whole thing, if that makes the whole thing, the whole width.
Okay, so there's the whole width of the screen and you want the image to expand to fill the whole width?
Yes, and then kind of slim it out some, because I don't want it to be that thick, maybe a little skinnier than that.
So do you want the picture to just move into the center, or do you want it to stretch out to fill?
I want it to
the whole-
stretch out.
You want to, oh, and then you're talking about thickness. Are you talking about like height thickness?
Yes, the height thickness.
Oh, got it. Okay. So can I take over?
Yes, absolutely.
No.
So background, we moved it, it's in my header, we moved it into the header. Then I'm not gonna lie, I took it back out the header because it seemed like I was getting more accomplished with being able to change the sizing of it when it was out of the header div. It was weird. I don't know what's going on with it.
Okay. If we set width to 100%, it doesn't help. Let's try it down here as well. We don't need it on the parent. Width 100%. Then we can get rid of this one. Okay, and then for height, you're thinking that you want it to be somewhat smaller, so like 75% maybe. Let's back up. Whoa, we got some stuff happening. Let's change this to pixels. Okay, and then let's move this up to like 200. I'm just trying to play around with this for a second to get a feel for what this would look like if we were to.
That actually doesn't look, I mean, it looked kind of blurred. It looks that, not that one, the one right before that. That's perfect.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you be able to do like a 275 or like a 250 or like something like that?
yeah, you can actually click on this and scroll up and down with your mouse wheel.
That's perfect.
Oh. All right, can we
To
go
like,
down, look, can we go down just a little bit?
well, I'm controlling your computer, but you can also.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I don't even know what you're using to scroll. Oh, what did I just hit? Sorry. I don't even know what I just touched messing with.
Pull that out the tab. So you can just push the tab. Oh, no.
I'm sorry, I didn't even need it. That's why I'm like, get rid of it. So you said I can actually like physically pull on the screen itself and.
No. Down here, see how we're making the adjustment on the height? If you select the height box, now you can scroll up and.
So there's a, don't kill me. There's a video. Y'all are on my on the right hand side of my screen. So I'm trying to move y'all so I can see where you're at in my computer, and it's just not being.
Oh, that's nice. Oh.
What did I do?
Okay, now we're back on the screen.
Okay.
So either way, it looks like it, and I'm not a CS.
I'm not gonna mess with it. I like it. It's been blowing my mind, so I'm good.
So then the change that you want to make, see here, we set a style on the image itself. So the image is 100% width and the height is 276. If you want to make that change to your code, because as soon as we refresh the page, this is going to go away.
Okay, so out style, and we're actually inside of that. So not even on the CSS page, 100%.
No, I'm technically putting this directly on the element. So you would want to probably give this a class of, and then, put the CSS styles there. That makes sense.
So that was the issue that I was running into when I was putting the CSS, like it wasn't moving on my from my CSS page, if that makes sense.
Show me the code. Is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. So let's ignore. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's use the logo class. So what we said was that we liked a width of 100% and then a height of, was it 265?
276.
276. Yeah.
276. Okay. And now what is this? What is the logo?
So we gave it this class in here. Yep, class
Mhm.
name logo for that actual image.
That's
But-
fine. But we want to move that and
Okay.
put it on the image itself. And then I
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
if you actually need that div anymore. You
Okay.
save and refresh. Let's look at this. Class is logo. If we click on this element, we can see we're not getting the changes that we just made. So
And it's
that's
because
not,
it's in header. That's what we end up moving it into header. But I took it out because it wasn't header
It's
wasn't giving me what I
react,
did.
because wouldn't.
well,
wouldn't-
no, we've got an even more fundamental problem here. We just added a class name logo, right?
Mhm.
And over here on the right, it's still showing that the class logo has width auto and height auto. But we just changed in VS Code. You can see we just changed
It's not
class
the
name.
same though.
Oh.
So we need to save here is the answer. There we go.
Got it. Okay.
Now see the class logo is being applied and the definition for the logo class over here on the right is what we just wrote. So
Thank you.
can I do one more thing though?
Yes, please.
Nice, please.
Yes, please, because it's running out. Please. Thank
This
you.
is killing me a little bit.
It was killing me too.
So let's find out where it's coming from. So I'm just gonna go and drag my mouse down until I see what is producing that extra space. It's not container fluid. It's
Might
not
be a
image.
padding. Is there any padding in there?
Yes, it is. It's pattern in my CSS.
So it might be some kind of padding, like one of your paddings isn't even.
But what we're expecting to see is the screen. See how it's highlighted blue? This is showing us what the browser, what this component, what space it's taking up. So as soon as we see something that jumps out and covers that gray, we will know that that is what's causing.
Oh, go
Yes,
down. I got this. Is it the other picture that I got?
Silver. Oh, there we go. So is it something to do with the body? You said there's a picture down. Oh,
This
this
one.
picture.
Mm-hmm.
So this picture right here is offsetting it. Oops. Offsetting the screen just enough. so
Okay.
that, so let's take this picture and try to size it down a little bit. Click inspect and look at it. We have this image. Let's change the image width to also 100%, which means 100% just means whatever the screen, the window size is, that's what we want to resize it down to. That looks like it got rid of some of that. And then the last thing that I can see
Is my bar. Yep, my
the
nav
bar. Can we do the same hack here? Can we say width 100%? Nope. It's actually this padding right and padding left. If we say padding is 0 and force it to be 0px. Now, I'm not going to give this to you for free, so I'm going to refresh the page. We just lost all the changes. But either way, you just saw it. That's how you fix it. So now I'm going to turn it over to you to.
Is this video recording?
Oh yeah. It's there too if you want to cheat.
Okay. No, I'm definitely gonna go back and I thank you so much. It's been killing me. I'm like, why is this like this? Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. With 100%. That's a secret. Nicole, are you ready to? Do you have the credit card?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cool. So you got a DNS target. Copy that, and then go back to Namecheap. I'm just going to look at the slides because I did this last cohort. I want to make sure that this is right. Go to the top and click on, or sorry, on the left somewhere, there's the domain list. We're trying to get to your domain that you bought. Yep, click the manage tab on the down on the bottom. That's your personal one. The Syracuse Impact. Yep, manage advanced DNS. And then kill those two. So hit the trash can for both of those, because these are parking pages where Namecheap will show ads until you put something up here. Now create a new record. Yep. Make it an alias record. Inside of host and @ symbol. And then in value, paste. And then just for giggles, the TTL, instead of automatic, set it to 5 minutes. Yep. And then hit the green. This UI is terrible. The green check mark to the right next to the X. All right. Now you should be able to go and visit the URL. I don't know how long it will take for this to actually. .com. And then impact is IMPA.
Spell my own thing wrong. MPACT.co.
Yep.
Okay, which should probably take some time. I don't know.
Sorry, go back.
Okay.
Go back.
Sorry.
Click the continue to site. Okay, just check it. Yeah, it's gonna take it a minute to wait. The spelling. Look at the it's spelling.
What the? Okay.
And then if you haven't hit your front end, it's gonna take it a minute.
It's still spelled wrong. It's still spelled wrong. It's still spelled wrong.
Yeah. ACT.co.
.com. Yep.
Oh, thank you, Christy. Okay, so can we just do my other one? So my capstone to my portfolio to my portfolio. Oh well, is it because I don't have it on Heroku yet? So then just wait and push it up to Heroku and then do the same steps.
Yeah, you're on GitHub Pages right now. Remember we did that in week 7. So you get a free domain there. But yeah, follow. This is all on the slides too. It's on slide 52, which I'll put in. Yeah, but all the steps that we just went through is in the slides for your reference.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Great job. Yeah, go for it, Christy. What you got?
This is from the other night. Access to fetch has been blocked by cores. What does that mean?
It means that, well, it can mean anything, honestly. It can mean that the backend is dead. It can mean that you legitimately don't have core set up. I think a good starting point would be to go into Heroku, look at the backend, check the logs, make sure that the backend is actually running. So go to Heroku, yep, sign in, switch to the backend. You're right in the backend, you've got logs. So notice here that you've got status 200. Let me try to annotate. You have status 200. What does 200 mean?
That is working.
Yeah, right. 500 is an error. 200 means things are good. So you've got requests coming in.
Yeah, so yeah, my where is it? This is where it is. This is where everything is. Let me see. Let me click this and see if it takes you to.
Oh, and it's loading the page, which those images are coming from your backend, right?
Right.
Your favorites.
Right.
Okay. Do you mind if I take over your screen?
No, go right ahead. Where are you? So I just saw the error. I just wondered why it was there.
Yeah,
Because I
Yeah, it's a good-
understand what cores does, so I was like, everything is working. It's just that error is there.
I can't seem to grab. Oh, there we go. All right. Let's close this and let's go look at the network tab. Grab this. I need more screen. There we go. All right, let's refresh and watch what happens.
Do you know the other night when we were working on that and something wasn't doing something, they were sending me emails. So when I went into my email yesterday, I saw these messages telling me like was something, remember something failed when we went into actions and something failed and they were sending me all these messages. What the heck? Why?
404. Let's see what's happening here. Failed response. We've got a 404 Christy Harlow capstone backend.herokuapp.com/favorites. Okay, let's go look at the backend, see what the logs are for the backend. These logs are from today.
No. Yes.
They are. This is in UTC time.
Yeah, because it says 8:20. I was thinking it wasn't. Well, yeah.
But these are older. They're like 3 minutes behind. Let's refresh and see. Okay. Okay. Well, let's do a sanity check. So, hello world, right? That's good. That means the backend is responding. Okay, and then we go to /favorites. This is your backend URL. You're getting something from it. Well, what's happening here? Why are we getting a 404? 404. Is it because you have a W and your backend is?
No, the front end doesn't have the W because it was too long, but the back end has the W. Which I should have just.
HTTPS Christy Harlow capstone backend .herokuapp.com/favorites. Okay. Response headers. So you're getting a response. The problem is the response doesn't have cores in it. So if we take this,
But
copy it.
when I created it, I added cores to when I originally created it.
Let's look at, this is the front end. Let's look at the back end. You have server.js, and here is your entries for the cores list. That looks right to me. Does it look right to you?
There's no W's in either of those. Are there supposed to be a W in the back?
That's because it's too long. Front has 5 and back has 4, so I had to cut the W off to make it fit.
On both of them, but not on the back end.
Right. So the front end doesn't have the W, the back end does.
Oh, okay.
Man, that is weird. We can open it up in a browser, but when we make requests to it from the front end, we get a 404. From origin has been blocked. No access control will allow origin is. I don't know why it's giving you a 404. But either way, I think the safest thing to do right now, Christy, is it your back end that has the automatic deploys, or is it the front end?
Actually, my front end has the automatic deploys, my back end doesn't. So should I add the automatic deploys to the back end?
No, not for this. Let's go and make a commit. Oops. let's go make a commit on the back end just to push this, and then I hope you don't mind, but I'm just gonna add like a 3001 to your cores list. And then we're gonna change the hello world to include an exclamation point so we know when it runs that that it's actually changed. Then we'll go to the GitHub desktop, switch to the back end, make a commit, add in some test code, commit. Don't necessarily have to push, but we're going to do it anyways. Then we'll do git push Roku to trigger the deploy. We'll let that run. While it's running, we'll go and open up our backend logs to watch the deploy. Build started. Okay. Server's running. All right, let's jump back to the front end and refresh. Yeah, I think so. Now let's look at the network tab. So for other folks that are watching, when you make a request to an endpoint and you would have your cores set up correctly, what you should see in the response headers is an access control allow credentials. So that's the first thing that the server needs to respond with to allow JavaScript to make a request. But then it also needs to have another header, this allow origin header, saying that, yes, this front end is allowed to make requests to the back end. If you don't have these two things, then you see the cores errors in the console. And that's when those errors actually are telling you something valuable. They're hard, those errors are hard to understand because sometimes they aren't telling you anything. They're just telling you that the server's down.
Does that have anything to do with the raw true, Doug?
The what?
There's like a raw true in the code, but I don't know what it's for. But I thought maybe because that one said true. I don't know.
A raw true. Are you talking about in the backend code?
Yeah, like what does the raw true stand for? Or maybe she has.
Yeah, when you do a SQLized query, one of the parameters you can include is raw true, and I think Max said it means that it just returns the data as an object.
Oh, I don't know. I'm really not that familiar with SQLized.
It's fine. Disregard.
Are you good, Christy, though? It
Yeah,
seems
I'm
like
good. Yes, I'm very good. I just didn't know why it was there, and I didn't want to touch it because I was like, I don't want to mess with it until office hours. So
Okay.
yeah, so someone can go next.
Yeah, go for it, Doug.
Okay, so here's what I've got. It's working on the front end after I spent hours pulling my hair out and realized I was pointing to the blog database on Heroku from my capstone. So I sorted that out on my own.
Okay.
But this is on the front end. I mean, I'm already logged in, so it says it's good.
Okay.
Or I shouldn't say front end, locally, I mean, it does that. When I do that live, it says, okay, we're not logged in.
Mhm.
And then I log in.
And it redirects you.
And it says
Success true.
Success true, but then is logged in is false.
Okay. Is logged in is an endpoint on the server, right?
Yeah, so I have or no, it's login and login status, I think. So this is the login.
Mhm.
So I think here's where it's saying success. And it passes back the user that it found, but then in login status, and either, yeah, so it does, so login status logged in is coming from login status,
Mhm.
but then we always end up bouncing back to here.
So the request.session.user, that is the, so yeah, show me in the logs. Is it saying login status not logged in?
So was
Yeah, it is.
so,
If you,
but it starts by saying
Yep.
it with login success, it found username password match.
Mhm.
Here's the matched user. Login, it's logged in, there's the user. But then rec
Not
session
logged
user is undefined.
Mhm.
So some reason login is seeing rec session user. Or wait. Yeah, so login, I return that and it's there. Am I not setting user equals this if user?
What
Yeah,
is
here I'm
the,
setting rec session user equal to the found user.
what is the session library that you're using? If you scroll to the top, isn't
Yeah.
there a library that's doing sessions?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's all a
22.
little foggy to me right here.
Well, me too. I'm not super familiar with Express. So we just need to understand what Express session is doing. Well, and then what's line 39? So you require sessions and then you pass it a server.use, and then you're generating these cookies. Okay. So the sessions are going into the database. Here's my first question. Do you have, if you open up Beekeeper and look at the server, the sessions table, click on the sessions table in public. This is Heroku, right? Or is this local?
No, this is local.
Okay, let's look at the Heroku one.
All right. Is there a way to just without closing it and opening it up to just say, give me a new?
If you go up to the top, I think it's Command Shift N or click a new window in the top.
Oh, okay, okay. And I swear I named it Heroku, but so now I've got. I don't know which one's the blog and which one's the.
Maybe
Well, if you
exit.
connect to it, we'll see what database it
Okay,
has
yeah.
in it. Oh,
That one doesn't have a password. Is there a way to delete both and try over?
yeah, I think you need to save it. I think you need to just build a new connection and save it again, Doug, because like Nicole was saying, I don't see any passwords and filled out for either of these.
all right, so if I.
Can you just click on the default database at the top?
That's localhost 5432. That's the old one.
If you double click on it. And then at the top where it says Doug Rusin and the little arrow down.
These are all
my
localhost
local.
databases.
Okay. I just wanted to see if like maybe it might have went there or if they had the numbers or something. Oh.
Okay, so I want to make a.
Click the import from URL. It's a bit faster. Import from
Oh.
URL, and then don't show us this, but in your terminal, if you go to your backend and run Heroku config, it will spit out a big thing that you can paste in there. You probably want to stop screen sharing for this though.
Okay. I'll do all that over on this. Can you not see it now?
Yeah, I can't see it right now.
Okay. It's Heroku config.
Yep.
Okay. And everything starting with Postgres, right?
Just grab the whole thing after the colon.
Should I have already named it at this point?
If you paste that in there into the URL, then you can give it a name if you'd like.
Okay, it'll let me name it then. Okay, so I'm saying import, save connection as.
Enable the SS.
Oh
save-
yeah, like Nicole's saying, don't forget to check the SSL box too.
Thank you. Okay, test says it looks good. I'm connecting. All right.
So yeah, we're just going to look and see, are we creating sessions? And it looks like it's true. Yeah, you have a sessions table. So just a little bit about how sessions work. I don't know exactly how Heroku or how Express Session does it, but the idea is that when someone logs in, we're going to create a unique identifier that represents their session. So that's over on the far left. That's what the session ID column is. You scroll over, yep, that session ID. So in exchange for logging in, the server gives you this unique session ID, and that becomes your proof that you're, as a user, that you're logged in. So whenever you make requests after that point to prove that you're logged in the browser, you send along this session ID. So then the database just looks up, did I issue a session ID in this table? If so, then yes, you are who you say you are. So all that to say, this database side where you're creating the sessions on the server to represent the users logged in looks great.
So one thing I had noticed in a message somewhere was it said HTTP only, but I know it's an HTTPS URL. Does that have anything to do with anything?
That's a different setting for the cookie, and honestly, I don't remember what the HTTP only flag does. I think it limits the cookie to only being allowed. I don't remember exactly, but I don't think that's the issue.
Okay.
So we know that the server is setting the sessions correctly. If you go back into the browser and just for a sanity check, because you're being issued a cookie that sticks around during your session, if you go back to the app and open up an incognito tab using the same URL, but just open in incognito mode.
What is that? It's like,
so copy the URL to your clipboard, and then I don't know what it is in Chrome, but you can get to it with the hamburger.
Right there.
Yeah, or that. Yep. Yep. Paste. Yep. Try signing in here.
Okay. Why is doing that so many times?
Because technically that component is re-rendering every time you enter a new letter.
Oh,
so success true is logged in false.
Yeah. So look at the network tab. And let's see the calls. So I want to see the call from login. So click the second from the last. Yep. Second login call. Look at the headers. Headers tab. Okay, in the response, notice how it has a set cookie header. So this is the server saying, okay, you've logged in. Here is that special ID that you're going to use to prove that you are who you say you are. And then click on the cookies tab. Far right, yeah. Okay, there we go. So we have a connect ID and a value. And then if you blow this up, I'm trying to look at that DO next to the name and the value. I think that's the Doug MR capstone. I think that's the, let me I'm like, yep, that's exactly what I want to see. This right here. So this is saying that the cookie is issued for your domain and is only going to work on your domain, which looks great. Now let's go look at the login status call. And here, if you click on the headers tab, it looks like you're sending that cookie along with it. If you scroll down a little bit more and we look at our request headers, that's all you have on the screen right now.
Yeah, that's as far as it goes.
Okay. So I believe that the cookie is being set, and I believe that you're sending it along with this request. I'm not sure why the server isn't picking up on that and then creating your session. Let's go back to the code for server.js.
Let me just clear my console.
Okay.
Are we looking for that endpoint?
Right now, I'm just looking for something to tell me, yeah, login status. So request.session.user. I believe that should just automatically get filled for you if the cookie is being sent.
So on the, I don't know if this is here or there, but on the front end, this is another thing I'm not super clear on, but including credentials include is supposed to send the cookie.
Yes, it's supposed to send the cookie along with the request. Yes.
Okay.
I think you have that set right. Connect.id, that is the name of the cookie. And then, yeah, the only thing that doesn't look right to me is I don't know if the cookie is being sent in the front end. Like if we go back to the request in the browser, I was expecting to see the cookie in the request headers here, but I'm not seeing it. So the request headers being, yeah, this whole section.
Was it in neither of them? Yeah.
And I don't know enough about cookies to say whether or not they will show up here. Do you have everything saved and pushed up?
I believe I do. I
Okay.
can.
Well, I want to look at this later and see if I can reproduce it on my machine, and then I'll tell you what I come up with.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for taking the time. I've been going in circles with this for since Thursday's class.
Sure. Yeah, it looks like you're doing everything right. I bet it's just one line somewhere that's being missed. Nicole, are you next?
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to see if I can get some help making an endpoint to my front page. So like a connection.
What are you gonna send?
Right now I'm making a username, but I want to make a register page, like a login and a register page.
Did you guys get code for login when you were working with Max?
Yeah, we did,
Okay.
but
that-
I did majority of it. But I was gonna ask if you could just look over it and.
Yeah, I'll look at it.
Okay. So here's my back end.
Well, let's start with the front. If the user is going to go and log in, that's what you're looking for, right? You're looking for the user to log into your website?
Yeah, like I don't have a login page yet. So.
Oh, okay. Well, how are they gonna log in?
No, that's what I'm saying. No, I have the page. I have the button to click to the page.
Okay.
I did the I set it up in the back end, but now I want to connect it to the front end.
So we need to have a page that users can log in, like a username password box, right?
Yeah. So this is what I have in the back end.
Okay. This looks a lot like Doug's code. So you do an app.post. So you're listening for post requests on a login endpoint, and you're checking to see if there is a user that you found. If you find a user that matches their username, then you move on to checking to see if the password matches. And if you have a password that matches, then you set a request.session.user. So very, very similar to what Doug has.
We worked it together, by the way.
And this is what we were taught in class.
Okay. So the user technically has a request.session.user. You know, Doug, you've got a bug somewhere, but at this point, if a request.session.user, if that has something, which on line 37, you're setting, you're hydrating, you're putting something in that box. If you've got something in that box, the user should be logged in. So from here on out, you can now look in that box in other endpoints, like probably having an endpoint like Doug has, like a logged in endpoint where it checks to see if request.session.user, it checks to see if that has something. That would probably be a good idea.
And would that be in the front end?
Checking to request.session.user, that only exists on the back end. That's the server's way of telling if the user is currently logged in.
Okay.
So what do you want to do?
I guess I would like to have some help with the logged in part then.
The logged in, okay. So let's make an endpoint called let's make an endpoint. So how do we start writing an endpoint?
App that we get.
Okay, let's make it a get. That sounds good to me.
I got a little confused. Are we doing, or so would it be the users or logged? I'm not sure. Would it be login?
You can call your endpoints whatever you want. You're gonna write the code on the front to call it, so you can call it whatever.
Okay, well, for right now, just leave it empty, I guess.
Well, we got to give it a name so we have something to call on the front end. And you already have a slash endpoint for hello world. So give it some name, like user check, logged in, something to help you know what this is doing. Okay.
Do we need an async?
Yeah, we need the same boilerplate that you see from the other, where your function is going to take a request and a response. Okay. So what do you want your logged in endpoint to do?
Can you ask me that question again? I couldn't hear you.
What do you want your logged in endpoint to do? What's the goal?
The goal is to have something like to check to see if somebody's logged in, right?
Yeah, okay. So how on the server do you know if someone is logged in?
Wouldn't it send a code?
To tell if the user is logged in on the back end, you just need to see if this variable has anything in it. Because notice when we do the login, the only time that this variable gets set is if you've successfully found a matching password. So what you want to do for your logged in endpoint is just return whether or not the server has something in that box.
So, okay, so you mean res.send?
Yeah, we want to send a response. Yep. So res.send. And then what we send to the front end can be whatever we want. But you could send like a logged in.
Or maybe success? I don't know.
Whatever, it's whatever you want, whatever makes sense to you. If they're logged in, success could mean true. If so, um, okay. And then what is this endpoint going to do now? It's always going to return that, right?
But it should send like shouldn't it move? Like shouldn't it just go to a different page or like say complete like in the database? I'm not sure. I don't know.
So right now, this is always going to, well, let's prove it. Run the server. Is that running down in the terminal?
Can you see this?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's running.
Okay, so let's call this endpoint and see what it returns.
How would I call?
How do you trigger an endpoint on the server? How do you see what it returns?
Do I use the inspect? I'm not sure.
So open up a new browser tab and go to localhost 3000, and is it just 3000 is the backend?
It's the
That's
2000.
the front end. Okay, so 3001. And if we want to get to your new endpoint, how do we get to that? The logged in endpoint that you just wrote, how do we get to that?
I don't know.
So go back to the browser. It's localhost 3001/logged in. You just wrote the endpoint for logged in. And I think you made it a capital I.
No, I didn't mean to do all that. Sorry.
Cannot get logged in. What's the code? I thought it was /logged in was what you just made.
Yeah, I'll going back to double check. Oh, there's
It's
a
oh, sorry, on line 45, we need a slash at the beginning. Okay, now we can go back. Refresh. There we go. So now this endpoint's going to return this data. Does that make sense?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the problem is right now it's always saying success true. Are you logged in?
No.
No, right. So it's telling us that we're logged in, but we really didn't do anything to check whether or not we were logged in. So let's jump back to the code. And then
Is that
we just got done talking about how to check whether someone is logged in, to set whether or not success is true or false, we need to examine whether request.session.user, we need to examine that variable. That will tell us if the user is logged in or not. Does that make sense?
I hear you saying examine, but I'm not sure how we examine it.
How do we look at a variable and see whether or not it contains something? How do we check a variable to look at the contents inside of it?
I'm not sure.
So can you stop sharing for a sec?
Yep.
Let me share my screen. Okay. Can you guys see this? Okay.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. So I just made a variable called A. Let this represent what we the request.session.user.
Okay.
So I just made a variable called A. If I wanted to check and see if A contains, let's say, a number, what would I do? Does anybody know?
Console log.
Oh yeah.
That would tell us That would tell us what the contents of A is. And right now we can see that it starts off as undefined. Is undefined truthy or falsy?
It's neither. It's null, right? It's like nothing. I don't know. It's not
If we were to take it and plumb it into an if statement like this,
but we didn't assign it to anything. What we have to make?
right?
Oh, but
Right.
A is anything because you got a let in front of it, right? Can it be like whatever you want it to be?
Right now, it contains nothing. So if I run this code, what are we going to see, or what would we expect to see printed out?
Nothing. Like it would maybe just that statement.
Which of these two statements, which path is it going to take? Is it going to take the first if, or is it going to take the second if?
Probably else, the second one.
It's falsy. Yep. When A is undefined, or if A is false, so if we set A equal to the Boolean false, if we set A equal to 0, any of those things will evaluate to falsy.
Okay.
So this is how you can check to see if a user is logged in, because that variable will start off, that request.session.user will start off just like this. It will start off as empty. It will be almost as if it was let request.session.user, but with nothing in it. If the user hasn't been logged in, it will be falsy. So in your code, if you want to check whether the user is logged in, if you want to examine that variable and see what it contains, you just use an if statement. See if request.session.user, then
Can you scroll up a little bit? The Zoom is covering it.
oh, yep.
Thank you.
So if request.session.user, so evaluate whether this is true or false. If that's true, then you can say I'm logged in. Else, that is how you would know. Oops.
Would I
Sorry.
write that like in my else if statement that I already have? Would that just become another else?
What do you mean?
Like would I do another else? Because if I already have an else if statement, would I do an additional else like else if don't statement?
I think it's as simple as an if else, right? You're either logged in or you're not. Does that make
So
sense?
okay, I think I understand. So in the one that I'm currently making right now, I would do a if statement. So if
Request.session.user. Yep.
user. Can you show yours again? Can you show yours again? Please. Oh man, sorry. All right, because that's
I can just post it in the Zoom chat. I've got like 10 more minutes before I've got to go and do some stuff. Christy, do you want to go next?
I just wanted to ask, so for my my portfolio was linked to a website, and then I bought a Google domain, and then when all my stuff got knocked out because of the cloud situation, it was no longer connected. So is there a way for me to, well, I don't understand how to connect it back with since I have a back end now. Does that make a difference if I connect the front end and the back end to the same website?
Your backend doesn't need to have a fancy domain name because the customer is not going to see it, or the user is not going to end up seeing it, right? The user doesn't typically go and load your browser, or sorry, the user doesn't typically go and load your backend in the browser. So they're not going to see the backend. All you care about is putting a domain name on the front end, because that's what people go and visit in their browsers.
So okay, so when I went, can I share my screen real quick? So when I tried to go to Google Domains, I don't even recognize I don't even recognize this. Like I don't even to be able to add it back. I don't even recognize this. It doesn't even look, I don't know if I'm in the wrong
I
spot.
can't see what you're talking about.
What
We're
did
looking
I
at your
share? the
notes.
wrong- Oh, wait, share. Oh, I shared the wrong screen. So see, I clicked in here because I
Mhm.
haven't been in a long time. And so I don't even see where to add, add my get information.
So all the stuff that you care about is going to be on this DNS tab here. Remember, we came in here and we set your domain name, Christia Harlow, and the number here, this IP address, that's the
Mhm.
number that GitHub Pages lives at. So all we did was we pointed your domain name at GitHub Pages. So as long as you're still hosting your portfolio on GitHub Pages, this is good.
So so then this is set up.
Yeah, this is set up with GitHub Pages. Yep.
So then so how do I reconnect it on this front end?
Go to settings. Go to pages on the left. Yep. And then GitHub Pages is currently disabled. Select the source below. Click this. Go, yep, click on main. Hit save, or sorry, yeah, hit save. And then custom domain, remember in that box where,
From here?
custom domains other than Christia Harlow. Yeah, this is already set up. Oh, I'm sorry, Christy. This probably won't work actually. If you click on portfolio front end and go back to the code, this is where GitHub Pages kind of stinks. Because this is a React app, you have to run npm build to get that folder. Remember how npm build generates all of that code in that folder for you?
Uh-huh.
GitHub Pages doesn't know what to do without that folder. You're gonna be better off. You're gonna be better off putting your portfolio front end on Heroku instead of GitHub Pages.
Okay. All right.
And if you want to do that, just set some time up with me, and I'll be happy to help you get through that.
Okay.
from
That's
start
what I
to
was
finish.
just wondering, if I could go back and just pull it back up. Oh, okay. So the run build will make it connect, or
No, it's going to produce a folder which you then could use. Technically, you could then use that. Sorry, my son's.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Again, if you want to work on this,
I'll do that.
just give me a heads up, and I'd be happy to work through it with you.
Okay.
Anybody else got any questions? I've got like a couple minutes before I've got to run.
Where do we go to set up one-on-one time with you?
Just send me a message. I don't have anything fancy.
Okay, okay.
And I'll shoot you an invite and all that.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. I know you've got a couple more weeks before graduation. If you run into anything and want any help with the deploy, I'll set aside as much time as anybody needs. So just shoot me a message, and I'm happy to work on anything.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great
Thank
rest of your
you.
weekend. Yep.
You too.
See y'all.